These disciplinary documents tell of one probation officer passing confidential information to a defendant she'd friended on Facebook, a supervisor using his county cell phone to text a probationer day and night, and another officer who tried to intervene to keep police from arresting her fiancé who was on probation. It's after 1 a.m. on a morning last March. An SAPD officer pulls over a car for running a red light at Culebra and Zarzamora. Behind the wheel, a man named Alfredo Ramos, who is on probation. In the passenger seat, a probation officer, Danielle Sidney. There's also a child in the back seat. When the officer walks up to talk to the driver, it's Danielle Sidney who flashes her badge and does all the talking.
Hey, what's going on, ma'am?
What's up? Hi.
Hey, you got a driver's license and proof of insurance on you?
I'm driving them home. This is my fiance. I'm taking my son back.
Okay, what is that?
I'm a probation officer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right.
This is my rental, my vehicle. I had him drive it.
Okay, why aren't you driving?
The officer seems frustrated as Sidney continues to speak for the driver.
Okay, what's your name?
Alfredo Ramos.
Okay, can you talk?
The driver, Ramos, doesn't have a driver's license on him. The police officer has him get out of the car and administers a field sobriety test. At one point, the probation officer, Danielle Sidney, gets out of the car and begins talking with two other police officers who've arrived on the scene. She asks them twice if they can let the couple off the hook.
There's no way out of this, is there?
No, absolutely not. I mean, obviously you should know better, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, you saw the way he was driving. He blew that red light.
Alfredo Ramos was arrested for DWI. Even though Danielle Sidney's Facebook page displays a picture of her with Ramos, the probation department says it was unaware she was engaged to a defendant. Sidney was fired after an investigation found she accessed multiple defendant cases, which she was not the supervising officer of, numerous times for personal use and/or private gain. This is the Facebook page of another former probation officer, Kaylee Hoffer. There's a picture of her with a former probationer, Joshua Perales, and a sonogram of their child. Hoffer resigned in late 2013 after twice being investigated for allegations of having an inappropriate relationship with a defendant. Security Supervisor Steve Balderas also resigned last year after he was reprimanded for texting and calling a female defendant dozens of times using his county cell phone. He was also found to have accessed websites during the workday that the department called immoral and inappropriate. Two security monitors, Hasina Williams and Alexis Bailey, were each suspended for a week for having improper relationships with defendants via Facebook. Williams was found to have passed confidential information to a defendant. We wanted to talk to the man in charge of the probation department, Chief Jarvis Anderson, but he would not agree to an on-camera interview. By phone, he made the following statement: "It's unfortunate. I can't explain why someone would jeopardize their employment for a relationship with someone."
If indiscretions are being held by officers, what else is happening out there that nobody else knows about?
I was able to sit down with the union official who represents probation officers. In these cases where the probation officer is getting too close to the defendant, doesn't that compromise the supervision of that defendant?
That is a dastardly compromise. It is a no-no, big no-no. That should not be happening.
The probation officers blame Chief Jarvis Anderson, and they showed up in force at a recent meeting where he reported to his bosses, the county and district judges. The union claims under Anderson, probation officers haven't been screened or trained properly. They also accuse him of mismanaging the budget so badly they've had to go without their usual merit pay, which has caused some good officers to leave. Those judges control the probation department's budget and they have the power to hire and fire the chief. But they told me they can't get involved or even comment on misconduct by probation officers. Several of the judges told me they had no idea this kind of misconduct was happening. I'm News 4 troubleshooter Jaie Avila.